You're listening to This Week in America with Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. Thank you for joining us on the program. As mentioned, our guest on the program is the author of the new book, The Fun Dept Presents Playing Forward. Nick Gianoulis is the Fun Department's Godfather of Fun. He founded the Fun Department after seeing the amazing effects of fun while working at United Electric, a company that embraced a work hard, play hard culture. Nick brings his rich experience in sales management and operations to support the team at the Fun Department. Nick encourages his employees to do what they do best, and that's get a kick out of seeing the results. So we're talking about the new book that Nick co-authored called The Fun Dept Presents Playing Forward, the definitive how-to model for creating a winning workplace culture. Nick, welcome to the program. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Rick. It's my pleasure to be on the show with you.
We're going to talk about the next half hour that fun really is good for business. And you know this firsthand because of the days back at United Electric, and I guess even before that in your career. Talk about that. You were part of what the fun team back there, sort of the unofficial group that was trying to make things more productive, make things a little more fun, a little higher morale in the workplace.
Yeah, so in the early days at United Electric, it was really informal. We just got together after work, usually for beers or, just for camaraderie. But the leadership there always encouraged the employees to have fun. But again, it was primarily after hours. And as we matured, the company matured and grew, and more women entered into the workplace, and fun after hours was not as attractive. So we formed a committee that started to plan fun activities in the workplace called the Circuit Club. And I chaired the committee and then participated on it for many years. And I saw how powerful it was, that employees really responded to these things that were simple and easy, but they were very memorable. And the other thing on the flip side I recognized is that none of us were professionals. We all had other responsibilities and big responsibilities. It was also pretty expensive because we had 10 people on the committee. So the opportunity cost for those people to take the time to do that every couple of weeks. So I thought there's a business model, and I could help other companies have fun in the workplace by establishing this company, the Fun Department, and deliver fun in the workplace. That was our original model.
And as you started putting this original group together, and you threw some pitches out there to some businesses, and what the response you were getting is like, where were you guys before? Yes, we could use your services. Come in and give us a hand.
Yeah, so there's people who certainly recognize the value right away. And again, it all starts with leadership. That's one of our laws or tenets of fun is leadership buy-in. So, the employer has to embrace the concept. It's almost like permission to play, if you will. And they recognize the value not just to their employees, but to their business results and the bottom line. So once that's established, we are welcome into many companies who see us as a very valuable resource. And I often say that fun is not the silver bullet. If you're not already a good company treating your employees fairly, fun will not save the day. But think of us as the icing on the cake, that if you're doing good things, it's your competitive advantage in the marketplace. That fun really does help drive business results when you do it consistently, and that's what we encourage, that fun is not an event, it's a process that, like every other part of your business, you do it consistently and get better at it, and it becomes part of your culture.
We're talking about the business called the Fun Department, and department is DEPT. Information is available at the website, thefundepartment.com. And the new book called The Fun Dept Presents Playing Forward, the definitive how-to model for creating a winning workplace culture, which really is a playbook. It's fascinating reading. Takes a lot of the myths, which we'll talk about in the program, that are out there and really shoots holes in those and shows you that, yeah, there really is a good business if you've got people that are enjoying what they're doing and having fun. You met the right people along the way in the beginning, Dr. Paul McGee and the fish philosophy. Talk about what that is. And this guy was really meaningful, wasn't he, when you were initially putting this together?
Yeah, very much so. So I started to become fascinated again when I was working at United Electric by the business results and the impact on the employees. So I was researching fun in the workplace, and all this data started to emerge and started to confirm some of the things that I had speculated, that it did drive creativity, morale, productivity. So one of the foremost authorities on the subject is a gentleman named Dr. Paul McGee. And I'm looking on his website, and very coincidentally, I see Wilmington, Delaware. It's where I'm from. I'm, 10 minutes away. And I called him and just, randomly thought, geez, maybe, he is in town. And sure enough, we met for what was supposed to be a 20-minute meeting that turned into a 4-hour meeting at a local coffee shop. And Paul was fascinated by the concept that I had for the business. And at the end of the meeting, he said, Nick, if you don't start this, I will. You're the tail end of Fish. And Fish, for those of you who remember, 15 years ago or so, really came out with the original concept that fun is good, based on the Seattle Fish Company, still exists in Seattle today in the marketplace, where, throwing fish, really distinguished them and having fun in this fish market, really produced great business results for them, even in a very tough, business environment. And certainly nothing glamorous about, the fish business, but they really validated the concept. And then many others have come forth since then, but Paul was a pioneer, Dr. Paul McGee, and he was just recognized and received 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards for his work in just the last couple of years. So a great guy. I just had coffee with him again at the same coffee shop not long ago. So a great guy and a major inspiration for me to start the business.
Nick Gianoulis, our guest on the program. We're talking about the Fun Department. That's DEPT. The website is thefundepartment.com. The book, Playing Forward, the definitive how-to model for creating winning workplace culture. Then you meet David Raymond. That name may not ring a bell, but Philly Fanatic does. He was the original mascot, considered at one time one of the top mascots, in fact, the top mascot in the country, and able to get a lot of ideas from him as well, because his whole job is entertaining people.
Yeah, so that was really the missing link when I decided that I was going to start the company. I had the sales and marketing, I had the business background for sure, but I was really missing. I'm not a performer myself, and I needed someone who had skills in implementing this fun in the workplace. So I called David, longtime friend, associate, and the best mascot of all time. I'll make that point, clarify. Forbes voted him the best, undisputed best mascot of all time.
The king of all mascots, yes.
Yeah. So David loved the concept. He had been, at that time, he had retired from the Philly Fanatic position and was still doing mascot development and character development in the sports industry, but he loved the idea of being involved in the corporate world. So he helped develop the model that has made us so successful, these brief, consistent, engaging deliveries that is still our signature in the marketplace. So David was very instrumental in our business in the startup, for sure.
And then you meet someone else, and he decides after college he's going to come to work for you. He's now the CEO of the Fun Department, co-author of the book, and he was working at a minor league baseball team. And, of course, they thrive on the culture is having fun. And he was so excited about working with you, he decided after college he turned down a job with a major sports management company to come to work with you. We're talking about your partner, Nat.
Yes, Nat Measley, the master of fun. And Dave Raymond and I actually met Nat at a baseball game. We were watching one of Dave's mascots perform on the third baseline. And I looked down the first baseline, and this young kid on a dugout has got the whole crowd going crazy. I said, "Who is that guy?" And David said, "Oh, that's Nat Measley. He's the on-field entertainer." And I said, "Well, that's the guy we need. So can you train him to be, the guy who is our out front guy?" And, we approached Nat after the game and said, "Hey, we're thinking about starting this company, the Fun Department, where you work for us." And, Nat, young, bright guys looking at us like, who are these guys, right? And what's the Fun Department? So it's been a really great history. He now runs the company. He's, highly, intelligent, great performer, just all around great human being. And he has delivered more fun than anyone in the world. So he's a, drop dead expert on the subject and co-authored the book with me.
Yeah, and the book is Playing Forward, and it's available at the website, the Fun Department, DEPT.com. It's available all across the country. You can link on directly at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Let's talk a little bit about the clients that you have, because you've got really big clients, you've got family-owned businesses, you've got nonprofits. This really is a concept that's used effectively across the board, isn't it?
It is, and Rick, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a common misperception that fun is just for these big companies.
Yes.
And while we do business with Fortune 100 and 500 companies, we do quite a bit of business with smaller companies. So it's really where a leader recognizes the value. And, for example, there's a, plumbing company that, relatively small company, but, they get it. They're a great customer of ours, and numerous other companies that have less than 100 employees, less than 50 employees who really understand the value that it brings to their company. So our goal, my mission has always been to create opportunities for companies to have fun around the world, at work. And because it's just good. It's good for employees, it's good for business, it's good for customers.
As you're talking to potential customers and talking to people that would be interested in the book, I think, okay, it's good for business. I can understand this. You can substantiate that it's good for business. But what exactly is fun? What is the definition of fun? How do you answer that?
Yeah, so that's the $1 million question. And I sent Nat, my partner, out on a mission because he's an academic. He's very scholarly and a smart guy. And I said, Nat, go find universal fun. I want to know the 10 things that people around the world all view as fun in common. And Nat came back after a lot of research and he goes, I have good news, bad news. The bad news is that fun is really an individual thing. But the most powerful fun is a shared experience. It's the most memorable. Fun that you do with other people is the most memorable. It's the things that you really, recall as your best times ever. So finding that common ground, and we call it the shared experience. Nat actually delivered a TED Talk on the shared experience, and it is part of our model in science that we use very effectively with all of our customers, and it's part of our process. So we determine within a group, an organization, a department, what is your shared experience? It could be gardening, for one group. It could be cliff diving for another group. But we establish that, and it's not just one thing. It could be a group of things. And then we design programs and things around those things that are common and fun for that group, that environment, that culture. So it's really, it helps really set you up for success when you have the buy-in of the employees that determine, hey, these are our shared experiences. These are the things that we like and enjoy in common.
Nick Gianoulis, our guest on the program. We're talking about the Fun Department. He is the Godfather of Fun. The website is thefundepartment.dept.com. The book is called Playing It Forward. Let's talk a little bit about some of the myths that are out there that you address. One is creating fun is expensive and it's time-consuming.
Yeah, so a very common objection with fun. So fun, not so time-consuming, right? So the things that we recommend and we do that are on company time are anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes is kind of our sweet spot, right? So a lot of times people say, oh, geez, I don't have fun, I don't have time for fun. So, well, geez, do you have a regular meeting where you all get together? And so, yeah, we have a staff meeting once a month. Great. How long's the staff meeting? It's 4 hours, it's boring, this and that. Well, could we take 15 minutes of that meeting just at the beginning and have a little fun? Sure, that works, set the tone, at least for a good meeting, good productive meeting. So we find these, forums that fit within someone's business. And we are very respectful of business interruption. We understand that people can't shut down for 4 hours. And then the other thing is expense. Traditional team building is expensive. The kind of price starts at like $2,500. That's a lot of money, right? Because it's 2 and 4 hours of team building. So we say, look, do things that are brief, inexpensive, consistent, and you'll get a much better result. So a lot of the things that we do and that we suggest for companies to do, that we teach you in Playing It Forward and in our nationally accredited workshops, that these things are all well under $100 to do internally. So maybe you're doing 12 things a year, once a month, and they're inexpensive, they're easy, they're co-designed with your people and your culture. So fun is inexpensive. It's one of the great natural resources we have in this country.
And the workshops take place all across the country. Again, all types of businesses, from the top businesses in the country to nonprofits and local family-owned businesses. That information available as well as at the Fun Department, thefundepartment.com, DEPT. You can go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and link on directly. What I want to talk about here is fun is frivolous is a myth. And you talk about the fact that a little over $2,000 a year is lost because of employee disengagement during the course of the year. It's really expensive if you don't have fun.
It really is, and one of the things that's driving the attention to this subject now is the millennial population. So the largest by far that we've seen of any generation, by the year 2025, they'll represent 75% of the workforce. And millennials, very smart, very fast, but they like flexibility and they demand fun. So if they have a choice of working for pay or culture, they're going to pick culture. And that's really what we're about. Fun is certainly in our title, and it's a big part of what we do, but we're really about culture, establishing a culture, because again, fun is not an event, it's a process. And if you weave it into the fabric of your culture, then that's when you produce the business results. So it really is something that I think companies are almost forced to look at today. If you want to attract and retain the top performers, and especially the millennials, you're going to need to have a culture that's conducive to the way they operate. And millennials are great. We have quite a few that work for us, and I love them. They're much faster, smarter, than myself, and they just get really get things done. But you have to provide that flexibility, and of course, some fun within the work environment.
A couple minutes left in the program. One of the examples you use in the book, Playing It Forward, is Wilmington University. And this is how a program grows. This is a university. It's growing. The needs are changing. What worked maybe 2 years ago isn't necessarily working now. And they've got the Fun Department. In fact, what they call the Fun Department, the Office of Positive Mojo. Talk about Wilmington University and what you set up for them, because this really has become, again, an important part of their culture.
It really is, and they're one of the top places to work, voted top places to work in our region, a very dynamic organization, growing really fast. And what they've done, we've worked with them for a number of years. It's probably 8 years now. And we actually sit down with their C-level executives and their HR department, and we design a plan for fun every year, and then we're constantly checking in on that. Things that they do, we encourage them to do internally on their own, and then things that are larger production outside their scope that they want us to do. And that's the perfect fit or model, if you will, and they do it extremely well, and they're one of those companies, organizations that recognize the value of fun and are certainly achieving great business results.
Nick Gianoulis, our guest on This Week in America. We're talking about the Fun Department, the book Playing It Forward, the definitive how-to model for creating winning workplace culture. The book is available at the Fun Department website, thefundepartment.com, and that's DEPT. The book is available all across the country. You can find out more by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and linking on directly. And Nick mentioned the workshops that take place. All of that's available, all of their services available at the website, thefundepartmentdept.com. We will have Nick and his partner Nat back on the program. So much more to talk about. Nick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Thank you, Rick. I totally enjoyed it.
Once again, the book is Playing It Forward. The Fun Department, DEPT.com for all the information. You're listening to This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us.